Hey guys, it's Luna and welcome to MoonRock. Today I bring you the middle school survival guide, and if you're wondering why I'm wearing a different outfit, it's pretty much what I mentioned in my last two videos, so let's just continue on. Now we get into the part that everybody is most curious about, the opposite gender, crushes, and relationships. So girls, the first thing you want to know about guys is that they mature a lot slower than we do, and especially in middle school, if you like a guy but they're not showing any signs that they like you back, or they're being really mean to you or teasing you a lot, that's kind of their way of flirting, which is really confusing. I don't know, I don't completely get it myself, but I don't know, that's just the way they are, because a guy, you're in middle school, they can be pretty immature. And I've had my fair share of hanging out with immature guys, so. But there are some guys in middle school, I mean, it's not very usual, but there might be some guys in your middle school who are pretty mature, and so you shouldn't generalize guy behavior. You know, I think you should get to know the guy first, and then you can decide, oh, he's immature, or oh, he's a gentleman, and that sort of thing. And then for guys, girls can be pretty complicated, but I think that's because they make things more complicated than they need to be. You know, they start a bunch of drama over pretty much nothing, and I don't really understand that. I think it's because as girls, we always want to like have people think that we're pretty or smart or whatever, and you know, we like attention, and so we kind of take that the wrong way, and then we kind of make this whole drama or whatever over a teeny tiny little thing. Another thing you want to know about girls is that we can be pretty emotional, and so something that might not be such a big deal for a guy is a huge deal for a girl. Like, you know, one of their best friends since kindergarten decides that they don't like him anymore and they ditch us, or some player jock guy doesn't like them, or I don't know, something like that, and so they will sometimes, not all girls, but some will kind of act like it's the end of the world. But just for everybody, I don't think it's really fair to stereotype the opposite gender, because every person is different, and so there might be some guy in middle school who's super emotional, or there might be some girl who doesn't start a whole lot of drama, and you know, it just depends on the person, and I think you need to get to know a person before you start judging them based on how they look or how they act on the outside or whatever. So, yeah. So, when you're in middle school, that's kind of around the time where you start to develop feelings for the opposite sex, and it can be really overwhelming, it can be exciting, it can be really scary. Like, I know for me, my first crush was kind of terrifying because I kind of used to hate boys, to be honest, and so the thought of having a crush on a guy was just really different, and I would try pushing it away, but it always came back, and so this is how to handle your crush if you're experiencing your first crush, and how to act normal around them and stuff. So number one is to not have super high expectations, because in middle school most relationships don't really last for very long, and so I don't think it's fair or right to have super high expectations. Like, he has to open the door for you, he has to have a certain type of look, he's gotta be smart, he's gotta be funny, he's gotta like dogs or something stupid like that. Just kind of keep it cool, play it safe. I just kind of view it as a friendship, and things will go smoothly. Number two is dress to impress. And what I mean by this is, girls, if you like a guy, then you can start like dressing a little nicely, wear a little makeup, but you don't want to wear too much makeup because you're only like 11, 12, 13 years old. You don't need a whole lot of makeup because you're beautiful the way you are, and you don't, like, too much makeup will often scare a guy away, and I had such issues with this. Like, I was still experimenting with makeup and I would like have a bunch on, and so yeah, it didn't look good. And you can kind of straighten or curl your hair. And then for guys, you can try putting on cologne, I guess. I don't know. I don't really like cologne. It's got a really strong smell, but if you think you can pull it off, then go for it. I would suggest combing your hair. And please, 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 for the love of clothing stores, pull your pants up. Girls don't like it when your pants are sagging. Number one, it looks like you just got out of bed and put your pants on with your eyes shut. Number two, when you wear your pants like that, somebody could easily pants you, and you don't want that. And so if you're having like a bunch of issues pulling your pants up, then I suggest wearing a belt. See if that'll help. Just please, just don't do that. Like, that's not right. Pants are meant to be worn around your waist, not sagging. Next is to make friends with the guy or girl you like, and hopefully you watched my video about how to make friends in middle school. How to get to know them, see if you have anything in common, invite them to have lunch with you or hang out, go to the movies or something fun like that. And the nice thing about making friends with your crush is A, you realize just how awesome they are and you like them even more. Or B, you realize that they're not the type of person you thought they were, and you realize that you don't like them after all. Even if you get over them, you have a new friend. Good for you. Is to calm yourself down. If you're being like all awkward and creepy and silly around your crush, and like the silly part is kind of mainly for girls because they tend to get silly about boys. But if you do that stuff, then your crush isn't going to get to see the real you, so just try to practice taking deep breaths and, you know, don't stress out at all. Like, don't stalk their Facebook. If you are going to stalk their Facebook, then don't leave the evidence all over their profile, because that's messed up. So if you're one of those people who is like really flirty in the way of the opposite sex and relationships and all that stuff, one thing that you can do in middle school that I think is really cute is secret admirer notes. Like, if it's like the first day of school or the last day of school or Valentine's Day or something like that, then you can leave an anonymous, I can't say that word. You can leave like an anonymous note in their locker or on their desk or something. Or you can like do that thing where you accidentally bump into them and then you like slip it in their backpack or their pocket or something. I don't know. The guys, you always want to be a gentleman, and the good thing about being a gentleman is there's really not that many gentlemen left in the world. They're hard to find these days, and so if you kind of set that sort of example for other guys, then you're gonna be the most awesomest person ever. To be a gentleman is to open the door, pay for a check, help your crush carry her books, walk her to class, get her a drink from the vending machine. Just little things like that that are really kind and gentleman-like, and girls really like gentlemen most of the time, and so if you do what I suggest, then you're gonna be all set. All the girls will be breaking down your door. And for all you girls out there, watch out for players. So for those of you who don't know, a player is basically a guy or a girl, like a playerette, I guess. Basically, it's a person who goes around flirting with a bunch of guys or a bunch of girls or something. And people who do that are complete jerks. I know when I was in middle school, there was this one guy at a homeschool program, Chep, and he was kind of a player. He would like flirt with me, and he flirted with some of my friends, and I had one friend who actually had a crush on this guy, and you know, I was warning her, hey, I don't think he's the right guy for you, maybe you should try to get over him, and she ended up being really heartbroken by this guy, and he didn't care, and I felt really sad for her. That was sad. So if there's a guy who's like flirting with you and he's hugging you and he's saying that you look good and he's like constantly bashing all these compliments at you, and then you see he's doing the same thing with a bunch of other girls, then guess what? He's a player and he doesn't take you seriously. And it can be a little weird if you don't like the guy. Just no matter whether you like the guy or not, just always be polite and, you know, acknowledge him. And that's something that I kind of struggle with. Like, if I see a guy that I think might be a player, I kind of ignore him, but not anymore. I'm gonna start being more polite toward those people, because you know, they may not deserve it, but we don't deserve kindness either. Nobody in this world does, but God is gracious, and you know, He loves us for who we are. He created us in His image, and so we should be following that and being loving toward everybody, even if we don't like him very much. Like the Bible says to love your enemies, and that doesn't really make sense when you first hear about it, but you know, when you think about it, it doesn't help that person per se. I mean, it does, but it's made to help you so that you stop hating that person so much. You know what I mean? So if you like a guy and you find out he's a player, then the best thing you can do is just get over him, spend less time with him. I know it's going to be really heartbreaking and really difficult to get over him initially, but it'll get better, I promise. And you deserve someone way better than that loser, jerk, dude. So next thing you want to do when you like a guy or a girl, make sure you're always comfortable around them, because relationships are all about loving someone and growing together as a couple and having fun and just being comfortable around each other. Like a boyfriend or girlfriend should be one of the people that you feel most comfortable around, and if you're constantly changing everything about yourself for that one guy or girl that you like, then guess what? They're not the one for you, because they just make you that uncomfortable. When you get married, you don't want a husband or wife that's gonna constantly make you stressed out or nervous or worried or whatever. Someone who's gonna encourage you and love you for who you are and make you laugh, make you smile, make you really happy. So if your crush doesn't do any of those things, then you gotta move on. I'm sorry, that's just the honest truth. And at this age, you're not even going to get married anytime soon anyway, so why bother? But above all, always remember this #1 relationship rule. You don't need to be in a relationship in middle school. No, really, I'm serious. You don't need a boyfriend or girlfriend when you're in middle school. You're 12, you're 13, 14 years old. You don't need to be in a relationship that lasts for very long, and most middle school relationships aren't really that serious, honestly, and what's the point of being in a relationship if it's not going to be serious or last for more than a couple months? You know what I'm saying? And you seriously do not need to be in a relationship to be happy. I think in order to be ready for a relationship, you need to accept yourself for who you are as a single person, and then once you're confident with who you are and you know what you want in a guy or a girl, then that's when you can start looking for the one. Like when I was in middle school, I wasn't interested in boys. I actually didn't have my first crush until probably like the end of 8th grade or something. But since I wasn't really interested in guys at the time, I felt like I could focus more on my grades and having fun and being with my friends and family. And since I was put into homeschool and I wasn't hanging out with the same people that I wasn't in elementary school anymore, like, that was like my time to kind of figure out who I was and build up my self-confidence. And once I did that, like, now I know who I am, I'm confident with who I am, and I love myself the way I am now, and I know what I want in a guy when I'm ready, and, you know, the right guy will come when he comes. Since I'm not, like, silly about boys and all that stuff, I think I'm gonna be a little smarter than other girls in my dating choices. You know what I'm saying? Like, girls who date a guy and then they turn out to be a total jerk, those girls are the ones that are, like, rushing into a relationship, or they're, like, ready to date, and they're just, like, saying yes to the first guy who asks them out. And I'm not that type of girl who would do that. I think if you spend more time on your grades and having fun with your girlfriends or your bros, if you're a guy watching this, then you're gonna be a little more smarter in the guys you date. Like, if you know exactly what you want in a guy or a girl, and someone asks you out and they're not the person that you're looking for, then you just kindly say no and you're good to go. Don't freak out if you're, like, graduating from middle school and haven't been in a relationship yet. Like, I'm going to my sophomore year of high school tomorrow, or on Monday, 2013, whenever you're watching this video. And I haven't had a boyfriend yet, like, ever. I've never even went on one date. And I'm completely cool with it. And, you know, I'd rather be single than date someone that I don't like. And so if you find yourself being pressured into having a boyfriend or a girlfriend, just remind yourself that, you know, you don't need to be in a relationship right now. You're kind of young to have that kind of relationship with someone. And always remember that, single or taken, you're beautiful inside and out, and I love you people. You people are awesome.